I love the smell of Deadlock in the morning, Q. For today's accent-free challenge, we shall be giving the initiates a helicopter, with the McGinnis being given some rather modded abilities. Is that going to be enough to give them a shot against 6 Eternus players? Let's find out. Eternus versus Initiate, but we gave the Initiates a helicopter. This McGinnis and this Ivy combo have been specially modified to as best exemplify a modern military helicopter as they can. We see already their rocket barrage, and over the course of the game, they will unlock their snipe capabilities. They will unlock, of course, Zombops, and they will unlock the big one. And Ivy is a little bit stuck right now. This is presumably like the longest ult in the history of Ivy-ness. But I do have Shello and Shiba here. Shello is one of the new co-casters that we're training. Hello, Shello. What do you think about this game?
Hi, Gluten. I think this is a pretty exciting game for the Eternuses. They were planning a lot of their strategy around the helicopter, and as we can see, it's already making a huge splash over on yellow lane.
Yes.
They're really going to have to itemize and strategize around where it's going as much as possible to be able to beat the Initiates in this one.
Yeah,
What do you think?
it is very interesting. I'm so curious to see how this teleport is gonna work. It works as it should. I've never ever teleported a character. I play Ivy a fair bit. I don't think I've ever teleported someone through that, but apparently it works. But yeah, I mean, like, strategy is gonna be incredibly important. This helicopter is immune to all damage and also cannot damage objectives. It is merely meant to act in a support role, and the Eternuses are already feeling the pain of having to deal with this helicopter, as this helicopter presumably gets his first kill.
Yeah, no, even without that objective damage, I don't think it's going to matter too much. These guys are absolutely decimating the battlefield. Fairfax Industries and the Arroyos combining powers here to make sure this ritual goes through on the initial side.
Yeah, I mean, the Eternuses do have a couple of advantages. The first one is, of course, they're Eternus players. To them, this is just par for the course in the Eternus versus Initiate series. But the most important thing, of course, is that the Eternuses have a big advantage in Soul Split. If it is the case that this Ivy and McGinnis combo is going to get basically every kill in the game supporting these Initiate players, how are the Initiates going to scale up? The Eternuses are already at 2.7k, we see that Drifter, so that is going to be incredibly important. And of course, this Ivy has also been slowed down, which means that she's not going to be able to respond as quickly as she would like. It's going to be a support role or a planned attack role, not a fly completely around the map at max speed and just win the game for the Initiates role.
Yeah, no, the Eternuses have gone with a pretty conventional draft, nothing crazy. They did ban Rem and Dynamo from the Initiate side whenever they were planning. Mainly the Rem to keep them from trying to heal the helicopter, but I don't think it's gonna matter too much, as it doesn't seem like the Eternuses could even get a hit on this helicopter as they terrorize the mid lane and then move over to yellow.
Yeah, I mean, they have a couple of options to do damage to this helicopter, and we see some of them. So the first one is Geist. Of course, a Geist swap can do a lot of damage to it. With a 200% resist, the Geist swap is not going to matter right now. But armor-piercing rounds and a Talon ult might make that worthwhile. I mean, there is ways to kill this helicopter, and a lot of the kit of this helicopter has been designed, you know, for flying. I don't know how good this McGinnis is going to be on the ground, because, of course, the resists are only happening while it's flying. The helicopter pilot going down is not going to matter a lot. And we do see Zombops. It's a mini Graves ult, and it can deal a lot of damage in a small area, just dropping off places and being able to ensure that the minions are capable of killing something.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see. We just had the ult get unlocked for the McGinnis helicopter. I don't know what that does. You want to talk a little bit about it?
So yes, the ult unlocked for the McGinnis is, of course, the big one. I'm gonna have to see how this works out, but it is essentially a very slow-moving Geist Bomb, and the slow-moving Geist Bomb leaves behind an array of radioactivity, so it is gonna be really tough. The Geist Bomb has been dropped, and suddenly a whole lane is occupied. Those minions are gonna die very slowly and efficiently. But I mean, we need to really look at the kill situation right now, and we do see that despite the fact that this helicopter has been doing so much good work, it is 10 to 13. The Eternuses have an edge in kills.
Yeah, no, that Drifter, especially with a 7-1 KD at the moment, he's really going to start benefiting from those stacks, especially in the mid game. He might even be able to go toe-to-toe with this helicopter should he feed on enough initiates.
Yeah. I mean, Drifter can be one of the most dangerous characters in these games. He does have what is called infinite scaling. The more initiates that he kills in isolated position, and let's face it, these initiates are going to be in isolated positions more often than you would like from them, the more weapon damage he's going to get. And that is going to matter a lot, especially as the game progresses. I think that he's going to be the character that picks up armor-piercing bullets and tries to kill the helicopter.
100%. I also heard the Eternuses talking about taking Witchmail for the Abrams to try and benefit from the insane spirit damage we're seeing from the helicopter. And also Phantom Strike to try and get it out of the air for just a little bit longer so they can take it down. But, I mean, seeing how it's going right now, I don't know how much of reality that's going to be, those expensive 6400 items. I am a little scared of how the late game's going to go with the picks this helicopter is going to get and how much that's going to benefit the Initiate team when the Eternuses are down 2-3 players for 60 seconds at a time.
Yeah, that is going to matter so much because I think what's going to happen is that the Initiates are going to be much weaker than the average Eternus, but the Eternuses are going to be obsessed with trying to get a kill on that helicopter. There's strategy in place with that Owl and the Geist ult, and I think that that's going to be a very difficult thing to do given how mobile the Ivy is. So in the late game, that Ivy can do so much damage. Just drop a big one and try to use a bunch of Zombops and try to, you know, heal as much damage as she can while the Initiates hopefully can wrap people up. You see that one of the common strategies of people is just getting yourself stuck inside a wall and just trying to do as much damage as possible. I mean, like, these Eternus players are spending so much time delaying this helicopter, especially now when the cooldowns for death are like 10 seconds. It might actually be worthwhile. The Initiates are getting hammered on the other side.
Yeah, no, that Drifter made a lot of space and time as it was like 3 other Initiates and the helicopter were chasing after him while we saw a couple of Eternuses over on green lane pushing that walker. Now, however, the helicopter is pushed under tower trying to get this Geist out of the way so that hopefully this Calico coming up lane can finally take the mid tower.
I'm curious what happens once the Eternuses get like 80% spirit resist. We hopefully will see the helicopter in a more support role. We have given it, after all, a support beam made by Northrop Gluten.
The helicopter can't actually do objective damage, so if the Initiates are able to get into mid and do enough damage by themselves, they'll have the support of air support, but I don't think it entirely depends on whether they're able to organize enough. I've seen the helicopter here just get stuck on all the corridors and hallways. It's got to be so difficult to control that thing.
Mid is going to be very interesting with no objective damage, but Urn, to me, I think, is a very doable thing for the Initiates because at the end of the day, when that Urn is going to be delivered, as long as there's someone within the circle, the Urn is not going to budge. And guess what? The Eternus players might try and try and try, but they're not going to be able to damage the Ivy and the McGinnis at this point in time. So they're always going to be able to stay in the circle.
No, and as we see here over on Yellow Lane, the Eternus has managed to get the Initiate's walker despite the helicopter coming in to clean up after the fact. I'm curious if this Drifter is going to manage to get away. The helicopter seems to know where he is. They can't get into the hallway, though.
Well, that's why the
into
Viper
the
is
closet.
here. Yeah, the Viper is here for support to try and kill this Drifter finally. The 1v4 is going on. Is this Drifter going to be able to get a kill? Oh, no, not at all. The support is just too strong. I think the Eternuses aren't even going to try and contest this one. There might be like a tiny bit of contest. But like, what are you going to do? The Urn is completely undeliverable for Team Blue. So instead, we see that the Eternuses are grouping up to try and get that middle walker, which I think is a very smart strategy.
Yeah, no, way more like long term. This Urn, especially by 13 minutes, isn't going to give the Initiates very many souls. And Drifter here trying to delay them further, it seems, but I don't think he's going to be able to get a pick. And in the meantime, Midwalker goes down.
I mean, like, again, this is a very core part of Eternus strategy. They're always going to be able to out-macro the Initiates, and because they're able to out-macro the Initiates, they're going to know that they can't win the Urn, so they have to trade it for a Walker. And at the end of the day, if they clean up the entire base and get as many Urns as you want, mid-boss is happening at this time, though.
Yeah, we can see the helicopter right now is taking down mid boss all on their own. Eternus is gonna have to rush to try and contest.
Yeah, I thought mid boss could not be taken by the Ivy McGinnis combo, but it seems like indeed it can be, and we see a bunch of stunts are happening too.
They can certainly take mid, but they definitely can't punch it. And as we see here, Eternus has contested it, stole some of the rejuve, get a few picks.
I told the Eternus players, this helicopter cannot do mid-boss. That's what I thought. That's what the modders thought. But apparently the helicopter can, and did it very well. And you managed to steal 2 rejuves, and you managed to not get all of your team picked. I think that's a huge win. I think this is like an insane contest from the Eternus players. In the meantime, this Ivy is chasing, and the Eternus players have figured out the best way to counter her: abuse map geometry. This Ivy keeps getting delayed and delayed and delayed, and at this point in time, when the death timers are just, what, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, it doesn't matter. A delay can be worth so much money, and I think the Ivy is still chasing. Like, again, this is insane.
So it looks like they're trying to do sitters now. Taking a break.
Tactical spec ops drop just to steal sinners. I mean, what are you gonna do? Contesting a McGinnis in such a close area is a fool's errand. Unless, of course, the McGinnis is stuck under the wall. This is perhaps the buggiest game in the Glutensnake channel, and that says a lot.
Yeah, no, these Eternuses are learning very well that in order to fight the helicopter, making sure to get up and down floors is probably going to be your best bet. Fighting them inside the shop, inside the tunnels. This Abrams is trying to use the walker resist to his advantage, but he isn't even going to be able to get away.
Yeah.
So McGinnis takes another kill on her 24 kill streak.
Yeah, I mean, this McGinnis is going to just keep racking on kill after kill after kill. We see that she's gone for escalating exposure instead of boundless, which is, you know, very fair. I think boundless is very good if you only have like a brief moment of contact, if you're dropping turrets everywhere, if you need those heals. But right now, that escalating exposure can matter so much to try to get a kill. This is perhaps like the least cinematic kill montage in the history of Deadlock.
As Kelvin sacrifices himself, stays alive actually to try and trap the helicopter for a little. But yeah, no, these kills are not pretty. That escalating exposure really putting in work to these extended fights as the Eternuses get taken down one by one.
I mean, the Eternuses are pushing shrines right now. It seems to be the counterplay for them, getting as much damage as possible inside the enemy base. Whenever the McGinnis and the Ivy are away, just try and get a little bit of burn, get a little bit of damage, and hopefully that's going to be enough to give you a huge amount of macro space with the shrines being down. Of course, they're all going to die, though, because this McGinnis-Ivy combo can just do so much damage so quickly. But can the Initiate survive?
I don't know, Gluten. Especially, I mean, my main concern about the Eternuses taking longer and longer respawn times does seem to be unfounded because they've gotten a lot more tanky against this McGinnis. Whereas in the start of the game, she was able to take down 2-3 Eternuses within a minute. Now she's having to focus multiple minutes on just one at a time, which allows them to push objectives elsewhere on the map. It's really turning into a game of macro.
We have significantly reduced the amount of damage that her rockets can do because it's no longer an ult, it is just an infinite source of damage. So we've reduced it a fair bit, and now we see that the Kelvin being up in the air means that the McGinnis has to switch to her gun and try to do some damage that way. But yeah, any sort of target that can fly is going to be so good against this helicopter. Her AA gun is not good enough, it seems. The second urn has just spawned, and I mean, the Eternuses are creating a little bit of space. They know that they can't pick it up, and it is an unwise fight. But, I mean, just maybe getting some Initiate kills here and there while all this is happening is going to work. And as the Initiate's attention was all diverted on that urn, these guys are going in straight for their shrines.
I mean, with how tanky a lot of them have gotten, I think they can manage it. Taking down just one shrine at a time will give them advantage on trooper waves, and also just a little more space. But as I say that, the Geist goes down.
I mean, a combination of Witchmail and Spiritual Resilience is meant that all of them are very, very hard to pick. And of course, the big thing that you want to extend right now, as these death timers grow a lot longer, is the time to kill. And if you can make sure that this McGinnis is distracted with you for like 10, 15, 20 seconds instead of just 3 seconds, that can be so valuable. We do see that McGinnis has gone for Boundless Spirit as well, and Boundless Spirit, extra range, and escalating exposure is going to make her ult so much more deadly.
It looks like the Eternuses are doing mid, however, to try and take it from the Initiate Helicopter combo.
Yeah, I mean, like, they're trying to just throw as many objectives as possible at the same time. Trying to do earn, mid, a little bit of assault to the base, just trying to distract this helicopter in as many places as possible. But however, I think that the Initiates are going to be able to secure all 3 of those rejuves relatively easily.
Yeah, just a little bit audacious as they all get into that pick. Or into that pit for that barrage to clean them all up. Geist decides against delivering Urn and tries to save herself by getting back in Archmother base. While it is a 2v8 for the Initiate's favor. Here, the helicopter has delivered Urn once again, and they're going to contest. I don't think the Eternus is going to be able to take them down, however. And
I mean, there was
Initiates clean up that Urn, yeah.
Yeah, a singular drifter there is not going to be anywhere close enough to switch the mechanics and the balance of this game. This guy is also going to go down, and so powerful.
I think that they're just going to have to contend with trying to take down this monstrosity. The problem is, do they focus on the McGinnis or the Ivy?
Yeah, I mean, like, my intuition is you focus on the McGinnis because... you know, the Ivy doesn't have a lot of abilities in and of herself. Like, she has those kudzus, she has that tether, but she doesn't do much, right? The McGinnis on the ground can still be a very scary hero, especially with her gun, especially with her infinite ult. She's gonna try and find some opportunities somewhere.
Yeah, and as we see another pick happen against this Kelvin, he domes to Trapper, but I don't know that it might actually save him. Complete chaos on the shrines.
Yeah, it is. The goal is survival for as long as possible. And of course, the Eternuses are going to go immediately for the counter push. While this McGinnis was distracted, the Kelvin was just playing delay there. The Urn is big push. I mean, this is the power of the Eternus player. The macro is just intense. Forcing these 1v5s, 1v6s on lane number 1. Forcing the Wraith to 1v2 here. And then getting the Urn for free.
Yeah, we see all the Initiate's attention down in the south now as they have to rotate very slowly over to Urn. It doesn't matter. They're deathballing around the map now using their McGinnis for cover. I think this game would be pretty done if they managed to get over to the base, but I think they're having too much fun getting these picks.
I mean, like, this is probably like the only chance a lot of Initiate players are gonna have to kill Eternus players, if you think about it, right? So might as well
I don't
just
blame
enjoy
them, yeah.
it. Yeah.
We see this Geist get caught out by the McGinnis helicopter.
Yeah. Of course,
And
the swap immediately happens, and now is the time to strike, if there ever was a time to strike. Where is my Drifter? Where is my Talon? The Talon is dead. The towers do no damage, and a chase is going on, and the Eternuses are just cowering in the fear of this helicopter.
I know! If only the Eternuses managed to get a couple more players on that, luring them over with a Geist for a swap and then taking them down could give them so much breathing room to take the objectives around Hidden King and even take down the Patron. But I think now we're just going to see a couple more picks in Hidden King's favor.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they've realized they can just go in the base and like try and clean everything up.
But as we see, the bird is coming. The McGinnis helicopter, they're so much, little bit faster. No!
Not gonna be enough. It's not gonna be enough.
That was probably their only chance to take them down as they heal back up in base. If they just waited a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's just...
That is so unfortunate.
Abrams is here deep in enemy territory. They've decided, you know, we're just gonna cut waves at this point. If there ever was a character to 1v5, it is Abrams. He has so much damage, but he does not have max ult yet. That Infernal Resilience proving to be so key. It seems like the entire team is needed just to distract. And of course, the rest of the team is going to go and look for those Guardians on lane number 2 while this fight is happening. But with the McGinnis coming in, there's not going to be enough time.
No, but there might be enough time to just take down those... actually, no, never mind. You're totally right.
No, not at all.
The initiate wave folds over them as Drifter ults. Maybe, hopefully, trying to get a chance to get away. Ethereal Shift underneath the shrine. I think he's just delaying the inevitable.
Yeah, well, he's not delaying the inevitable.
Mid-boss.
Yeah, exactly. It's a 1-2-3 punch, if you will. You have the Abrams come in to force the entire Initiate team and the helicopter to move. You make it seem like your real target is, of course, those Guardians on lane number 2, and then you go for mid. Is that going to be enough time? Enough for the Initiates to, you know, get only one of those 3 rejuves. And that Ivy is, sorry, that McGinnis is very low. Where is my Talon?
I don't know, Gluten. He's being attacked by the Lash outside. Oh, Bird comes in.
Kills the
Where
Lash.
did it go?
Kills the Lash. I mean, that's a very, very good pick there, but again, the priority pick is not the Lash or any of the Initiate. It is the helicopter.
No, the priority pick for sure is the McGinnis. And we see here Getaway with just 600 health. Abrams comes in to try and distract her. Sits underneath her. I want to see this helicopter get picked just once to see what kind of turnaround it does for the Eternuses. But I don't think they're going to be able to manage.
I mean, yeah, they clearly needed a bunch more different heroes that could actually, you know, pull off a kill. Vander, anything with true damage, frankly.
For sure. True damage or just a lot more damage. I'm thinking maybe an Apollo, maybe a Vindicta in order to get those damage bonuses whenever she's low health. Maybe a Shiv, because she does have a lot of health that you need to grind through.
I mean, the health that you grind through, you really cannot do anything unless you have armor-piercing bullets or that guy's doing the swaps. Everything else is just secondary. A future snake here. There is one more item that could have helped the Eternus players. It was, of course, Siphon Bullets. That also does true damage. Anyhow, back to the game. The Initiates have a very good macro positioning right now. The deaths are really starting to matter. With those like 80-second cooldowns on something like Drifter's death right now, it is going to be very, very difficult for the Eternuses to catch up here. The Initiates keep pushing all those walkers, and it's going to be a very, very big problem. But at the end of the day, the big fight is in base, and that base 8v6 fight might seem like it's very Initiate favored, but maybe it is actually secretly Eternus favored. What do you think about this? Do you think that the Eternuses have an edge in their base defense?
I still think it's not going to be in their favor. This helicopter benefits a lot from those smaller spaces and those arenas where they can get a good team fight going just because of the splash damage. And so if a battle in base goes down on either side, if the helicopter is there, I don't think the Eternuses are going to be able to eck out and win unless they take down the helicopter. That strategy before of swapping with the Geist and then getting an Owl onto her might be their best bet, but that's if they can coordinate that.
Yeah. Of course, in the meantime, that Wraith did manage to secure that last shrine, which is incredibly valuable. And again, that does mean that the Eternuses do have a big macro pushing advantage. That lane number 3, for example, completely and utterly push. If only there was one character willing to be brave enough. For example, that Drifter, who is looking at that lane and see if he can get a bunch of damage done on that Patron while the McGinnis is distracted on this urn.
They're all distracted on the urn, and I think he might be able to get away with this. Here comes a 7, however, to clean up that lane. Sees the Drifter. Ults! Just to prevent him.
Yeah, it doesn't matter whatsoever. It is, of course, yeah, the ult can be very powerful in the group setting, but I mean, if you are 10k behind the person you're trying to kill, I don't think you're going to be able to do much, but that helicopter certainly is. Okay, Unstop has been picked up by this talent, which I think is a very good tech. Like, the only way that he dies is he's on the ground, and we do see that the amount of knockdowns that the Initiates have been told probably to buy by this helicopter is probably going to matter at some point, but yeah, the amount of infinite flying is actually starting to have a huge amount of impact. We do see the Ivy has gone for that Cursed Relic. Of course, she is not the damage dealer that McGinnis is, so Yeah, this big fight happening here on the ground, on the air, everywhere. And Talon is surviving somehow. With those armor-piercing bullets, he's even counterattacking a little bit.
Just barely, but yeah, we did see with the support of Kelvin that Talon was going toe-to-toe with the helicopter. I think if he'd had just a little more support there, they could probably take it down. Here we see the Geist in Hidden King's base. Looked like she was trying to take it down. Doesn't manage to. Got caught by the Initiates and the helicopter cleans up. And
with this Kelvin being caught out of position here, of course, every single time that anyone tries to 1v1 the helicopter, they're gonna lose. And the problem is, of course, the waves. The waves keep being pushed towards the Eternus side. And in order to win the game, you have to get the waves pushing. And these Initiates are struggling a fair bit with it.
yeah, no, it's the Initiates are having way too much fun following this helicopter around and just killing whatever they decide to pick. And are, I wouldn't say ignoring waves, but certainly don't have them as a priority. And those openings in their defense could be an opportunity for the Eternuses if they sneak in there.
You see it is already surrounded by dozens of zombies. Everyone is going towards it. And, I mean, is this Abrams gonna try? He does not have max ult yet, but does he need it? He can just get a big stun, and that's enough to get him 1, and that's enough to get 2, and is that gonna be enough to get 3? Oh my god, the Eternuses get all 3 of those.
All 3 rejuves for the Eternuses as the helicopter tries to clean up at least a couple of them here. 2 are down. This Drifter has the last one in this fight. Oh, no, he doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, the big fight is on this base, however, because, of course, this Wraith can easily forward push this out. Is that going to be a bit of a sacrifice? Yes, it is, but it does not matter. The Patron being down means that the Eternuses have so much more opportunities. The Initiates can only make one more mistake.
Yeah, amazing play by the Eternuses here. They got that distraction on mid, managed to steal a few rejuves, and also took down objectives. They are playing this exactly how they should against this very oppressive helicopter.
Team Eternus has grabbed the urn. Again, they seem very confident they can do something with this urn. Is it a huge, big distraction? I mean, the McGinnis has to be there to contest, so might as well just have it. The waves are getting pushed here by the Skeleton instead of trying to rush the urn. Just keeping the waves pushed, you know, core part of the strategy. Just get a little bit more space for that Wraith to be able to backdoor.
I don't want to detract from this urn, but the McGinnis is currently inside the Archmother base, taking down minion waves inside their base room.
Oh, using her infinite... She's using her infinite resistances to ensure that there's no waves leaving base. And that is a very, very smart pick here, because it does force those Eternuses to react. I mean, like, they're gonna have to get a whole bunch of picks and clean up all of these Initiates without that McGinnis being here. And I think they're gonna be able to, frankly speaking. Like, how are you gonna be able to fight this Abrams, for example? He does already have so much resist. The Wraith isn't even there yet. The urn has been delivered by these Eternus players. And like, again, it just, maybe you're able to brute force this. The McGinnis has to go back.
She might have to here, because Witchmail and Infuser is doing so much work for this Abrams. He is toying with all of the Initiates here, distracting them all inside their own base while the Eternuses clean up lanes.
Yeah, I mean, this Abrams is 1v6ing with such ferocity, and he keeps getting all the ability. The curses finally get him, but that's enough time for the Eternuses to do something, right?
It seems like they're all currently battling the helicopter inside their own base.
Yeah, I guess they just cannot leave, huh? I don't think this is fair. Have you ever seen an Eternus versus Initiate event? None of them are fair to the slightest.
That's what makes them fun in the first place. Otherwise, it would just be Initiate and Eternus, and it would be a stomp every time. Now the Initiates have a chance.
Yeah. How can we push by pushing? With what minions? Just push. I mean, look, if you have escalating exposure and a couple of other high damage stuff, you can definitely go through a Patron's, like, weakened thing. It is possible in very late game scenarios. And these Eternuses, for the most part, have enough spirit to do that. Like, it is possible to just, like, push without any minion waves. Is it advisable? I don't know about that one.
It certainly isn't advisable, but it definitely looks like that's what they're doing. And the Drifter's able to do way more damage than I thought he could.
Yeah.
They already have it down a fifth of the way and take out the Viper. I think this is a done game, Gluten.
Yeah, I think, yeah, with the resistance, it's not going to be enough. As I said, there's just enough damage. However, of course, the Initiates are still there. They could do something. Nope, not going to matter, GG. The Eternus brute force the game. What a fantastic game. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you like games where we give the Initiates extra players to help them against the Eternuses, check out this game where we gave the Initiates floating, cursing eyes. Thank you so much to our Patreons, and have a good day, folks.